Gerald Celente with us this afternoon. Buongiorno, my friend.
Buongiorno, how are you?
I am, if I was any better, I would actually feel a little bit guilty.
Good for you.
Gerald, it seems that ISIS and Ebola and, oh my God, lions and tigers and bears, oh my. Everything is consuming the headlines. And we're coming up on a midterm election, and I've not been hearing that much political. My goodness, your perception of what's going on here.
Well, yes, that's really an astute assumption you just made about the election. Now, I'm not a kid. I've been around a pretty long time. And I used to run political campaigns, by the way, out of Westchester County at a graduate school back in 1971, 72, 73. And I was the assistant to the Secretary of the New York State Senate as well. And in my lifetime, I'm mentioning that because I've never seen a midterm election as flat as this one. And when you look at the polls that show only about 11% of the people have faith in Congress, there's no question about it that the people just aren't that concerned in it. Because after all, if you vote Republican, Democrat, Bloods or Crips, which gang of murderers and thieves are you going to vote for? And I don't say that facetiously. As a matter of fact, the Republicans and Democrats are much bigger murderers and thieves than the Bloods and the Crips. How many more millions of people do they have to kill in the name of freedom and democracy around the world? I mean, the numbers show that over 1 million people have been killed in Iraq and Afghanistan since the United States brought freedom and democracy to those countries. And when I talk about thievery, I mean, the Bloods and the Crips is small time. I mean, they're little, they don't even count compared to the trillions that were taken from us and given to the too big to fails and the General Motors, or is it General Motors? How many people died from their knowing that they had faulty problems with their automobiles and didn't do anything about them? So when I say murderers and thieves, I mean it straight out. So why would anybody vote? Nobody stands for anything in these two parties. So don't forget to vote.
Well, and it's just amazing because we learned firsthand through Ron Paul how even the primaries, it was just the vote fix was obvious. Here's a guy trying to get electoral votes, and he had them in several states. He had enough. But all of a sudden, magically, his chances to be in the most important political race in this country just up and evaporated. Yeah.
The game is rigged. It's a disgrace. The founding fathers must be turning in their graves to see what's happened to this country. And, we're holding on May 2nd of 2015, we're holding a major rally here. It's called Occupy Peace. OccupyPeace.us is the website. And it's only Americans are welcome, no foreigners. And this isn't a, peace and love rally. This is a Rebuild America rally. We're going to give takeaways that people are going to be, when they leave here, it's not going to be something, oh, that was wonderful, and nothing happens afterwards. I'd rather fight for peace than die for war. And that's what we're going to be doing, in the sense that we're going to give action plans that people could take back to their states and implement them so we could reverse the course that this nation is going on. I've had it.
Yeah.
I've had it when I see little boys like Leon Panetta shooting his fat little mouth off that we're going into a 30-year war. I've had it with all these loser generals that are now retired and on all the talk shows giving us the strategies of what to do next, as they can't show one victory under their belt in their entire career. I've had it. I've had it with these traitors to the founding fathers, beginning with Washington, who said no foreign entanglements. So we're launching Occupy Peace to rebuild America, bring home the troops, close down the bases, and let's put them back to work rebuilding this country. The infrastructure's rotted out everywhere. The people are broke. The cities are in decay. And you got these people shooting their mouth off. We got to get ISIS. We got to get ISIS. We got to get this one. We got to get that. Stay home.
The website again that you mentioned?
OccupyPeace.us.
I might have to come up there for that event, and it's, what's the date on it?
May 2nd.
May 2nd.
And we've gotten permission from the city to close down. It's Crown and John Street. It's the most historic intersection in the United States. It's the only intersection where there is a pre-Revolutionary War stone building on each corner. 90% of the American Constitution was copied from the New York State Constitution that's written in the courthouse right across the street from me. John Jay was a jury here. 3 other Supreme Court justices. The 1777 Senate House, the oldest open public building in the country. The seeds of democracy were sown here, as well as, of course, other places. And we are going to do everything we can to restore the democracy that the last several presidents, particularly Obama, Bush, and Clinton, have stolen from us.
Gerald, I have to ask you this question. I would be remiss if I didn't. Are we here to restore the republic or restore the democracy for what it stands?
For what it stands for. You know, the Bill of Rights, the Declaration of Independence, the principle. And again, you know, I'm not naive. I mean, there were a lot of terrible things that happened in this country. You know, the genocide of the Indians, and there are always mad men and mad women running around doing things. But the principles upon which this nation was founded, let us not forget, the French Revolution was modeled after it, as were many others. And the Constitution was something to be held high and looked upon as a document that represented the needs and interests of we the people. And when you look at what's going on now, right in front of our eyes, and not a peep from the prostitutes, we are now at war against Syria. We are dropping bombs in Syria under the guise that we're going to get them ISISes. Without a declaration of war, not even the implementation of the War Powers Act. So when I said, yeah, vote Republican and Democrat, vote for the Bloods and the Crips, what are people? Grow up.
Yeah.
What do you see all these bombs blowing up all over the place? Oh, yeah, these are strategic targets. We're only killing the bad guys in them houses.
In the meantime, it was all over the news wires yesterday. I think we reported on the day before, if memory serves. But we're actually doing drops for ISIS. We're giving them food and medical supplies. Gerald, if ISIS was legitimate, and ironically, we go back, and this also has hit the internet real heavy. When have you ever known a bunch of radical, terrorist-minded, jihadist whatevers to use an acronym for themselves? So some people did some research here. And we go back, there was a State Department spokesperson that was on Brian Lamb's show on C-SPAN. And they were discussing, well, you know, how do you go about contacting, Israel? How do you go about contacting the Mossad? And he said, well, they don't like to be called that. And he said, that's what I ask him. I mean, when you type a letterhead, communique by mail or email, this is important when you're addressing officials from other countries, that you get the title and departments and all that right. He said, I asked that question of the Mossad, and this is what they told me. Just refer to us as ISIS. Israel Secret Intelligence Service.
Yeah, and again, go back, John, to Obama's speech. They always, matter of fact, by the way, the new TrendsJournal will be out tomorrow.
Great.
And we wrote about this in that. You go back to Obama's speech on 9/10. They always do this, the night before 9/11. He refers to it as the Islamic State. It's the next Crusades. It's really easy to hate them with an Islamic State.
Hold on, Gerald. We've got to take this commercial break. 3 minutes. We'll be right back.
They came and took it all away.
First Amendment privacy is rare. Kryptonite.com has data encryption software for your protection. Kryptonite.com keeps information safe from NSA spying, cloud data mining, identity theft, and corporate espionage with encryption protection giving you 100% privacy in conversations, data storage, and transmission. Keeping your free speech safe from data theft with the best encryption software in the market for easy-to-use, low-cost data security. Kryptonite.com, Kryptonyte.com.
You have friends, family, co-workers that have lost their health insurance. For treatment and surgery at fractions of U.S. prices, consider AsiaRunLikeHellGuide.com. Heart bypass, valve replacement, 6 figures under U.S. prices. Hip or knee replacement, some of the best cosmetic surgeons on the planet. AsiaRunLikeHellGuide.com is honored to be associated with a highly internationally certified hospital serving 300,000 patients a year. Visit AsiaRunLikeHellGuide.com and click on Medical Tours today.
Wouldn't it be nice to have one product that replaces more than 10, saving you space, time, and money? HempUSA.org has a complete full-spectrum vitamin mineral detox formulation called Micro Plant Powder Gold. Micro Plant Powder Gold contains 101 vitamins, minerals, probiotics, and iodine. Has a 100-year shelf life and is a perfect addition to any storage shelter. Make Micro Plant Powder Gold your choice. Call 888-910-4367 or visit HempUSA.org today.
How important is the air you breathe? Our air purifiers produce activated oxygen, called aerin. Activated oxygen is the natural enemy of odors, pollutants, and many other harmful substances, yet it's completely safe. Our powerful air purifiers unleash the power of a thunderstorm, destroying pollutants in the air we breathe. It destroys many viruses, bacteria, and fungi, kills molds, and oxidizes chemical fumes and toxic gases. It removes smoke, pollen, and pet odors. Made with quality stainless steel, our portable air purifiers come with a manufacturer's 4-year warranty. If you haven't experienced the aerin process of fresh, clean air, then call us today and receive 10% off your order. 877-605-9200. Again, that's 877-605-9200. Time for you to breathe clearly again. 877-605-9200.
I'm Larry Pratt of Gun Owners of America, and I want to invite you to join the Second Amendment movement with Gun Owners of America, the only no-compromise gun lobby in Washington. Take action by becoming a GOA member today by going to gunowners.org. Gun Owners members receive the GOA newsletter, fact sheets, alerts, certificates, and more. But there's more to joining GOA than just a list of member benefits. The united voice of GOA members has been successful in defeating restrictive legislation designed to disarm our population. GOA has helped to get strong constitutional members of Congress like Senator Ted Cruz elected. And with your help, GOA will continue to successfully defend the rights of gun owners in the courts. Participate in our efforts to restore and preserve the nation's right to keep and bear arms. All contributions to our lobbying efforts are used exclusively to support or oppose firearms legislation. Join online at gunowners.org.
Herbal Healer Academy presents its spring specials. All sizes of our 500 parts per million colloidal silver are on sale, along with products to help you lose weight, like apple cider vinegar, Hoodia, Metabolic Complex, and Pro Metabolic. That's not all. Anti-Parasite Intestinal Freedom, Wormwood Plus Complex, Stevia Liquid Sweetener, and the Super Enzymes are on sale. Visit herbalhealer.com to order yours. Request our free 128-page catalog. Healing the world with nature, one person at a time. herbalhealer.com.
Just
Well, Gerald, while the rest of the world is listening to people like Nouriel Roubini, this guy, I don't know whether to get drunk, why my wristwatch, or give up the business of radio. If this kind of information is going out to the American public, this guy is out there talking about the global economy looks like it's running on a single engine, and that the Eurozone is at risk for deflation and triple dip recession. Yeah, Japan has been hurt by fiscal contraction following the consumption tax. I mean, these are all symptoms of a problem. The problem is the banking system itself. And they're to remind us that, well, the Fed hasn't raised rates since 2006, and he doesn't see them raising any rates for 2 or 3 more years. So that means quantitative easing 4, 5.
It's underway already.
Yeah.
I mean, it's you saw the markets today. All of a sudden, they bounced back, and why? Because now the European Central Bank is talking about their version of quantitative easing.
Mm-hmm.
We're still looking again at, as you know, the as you mentioned, interest rates haven't gone up since 2006, and now the 30-year fixed mortgage is down again. And they're just boosting this economy with cheap money, not only here, as I said, in Europe, and in China just announced yesterday they're dumping in several 100 billion yuan into the system to pump it up. You look at the Chinese housing market, between 20 to 25% of China's GDP is based on housing. And right now you're looking at the best numbers that are available, considering that they're coming from, you know, the communist Chinese government, which is really probably as accurate numbers as we have over here when we see our crap. But anyway, even looking at their numbers, when you look at last year, year to date, the housing market was up about 27% over there. Now it's down 10%. GDP numbers just came out last night from China. It was a given that China had to have over a 7.7% GDP growth to sustain itself. So here's the news. The markets went up on the good news, but China's GDP went up 7.3% when analysts expected it to go, I can't make this up only 7.2%. So that was the reason for the boost in the European markets later in the day. And then our markets are going on as well, because now they're talking, this guy Bullard from one of the Fed's presidents is saying that maybe this isn't the time to end QE. So as you point out, it's continuous quantitative easing. Tens of trillions of dollars have been pumped in by the central banks around the world to pump up this Ponzi scheme. And that's all it is. And when the money dries up, the economies crash. Period, paragraph. Abenomics is, we do trends in the news each weekday night as part of the subscription to the TrendsJournal. And tonight I went off on it. The Financial Times, they wrote this, their editorial, is Abenomics working? And now they're ripping it apart because it's not. These are the same SOBs that supported this program of quantitative easing. Japan's level of quantitative easing, considering their GDP in relationship to ours, was 4 times greater. 4 times greater. All under this guise, by the way. This is new. I've been around, for, as I said, quite a while. I'm going to be 68 years old next month. I never heard this BS about, we got to worry about deflation. We're in a deflationary, what world are they living in? What, you mean because commodity prices are going down in some areas, and because overvalued assets are leveling out to their proper prices or getting nearer to them? That's deflation? What world are they living in? You been to the grocery store lately, Jack? Have you paid your taxes? Have you paid your services on anything that you buy?
And
now deflation's a bad thing. No, we need more inflation, because the more inflation we have, the multinationals could jack up their prices even further.
And I'm hearing today that electricity costs, probably in the next 12 to 16, 18 months, are going to go up 40%.
They have gone up over here in the Hudson Valley. Last year, gas prices went up over 60%.
You're talking natural gas.
Yeah, natural gas.
And this is what they were trying to get everybody to switch to. They were leaving electricity, and then we turn around, and the electricity, I mean, anybody in the country...
John, it gets better than that. It gets better than that. Central Hudson, that serves us over here in the Hudson Valley, they're owned by a Canadian firm. And you could thank slimy, disgusting, lying Bill Clinton for this. When they deregulated all of the electricity power companies, this used to be called a public service. You remember Enron?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, that was the beginning of the end. Don't forget to vote. Don't forget to vote. Anybody that votes a Republican or a Democrat, as I see it, and the motto of the TrendsJournal is think for yourself, save it. Save your story for somebody else. Oh yeah, you're going to put a good guy in the gang, and he's going to change, or she is going to change everything. Yeah, you're going to put a nice member in the Bloods of the Crips. The systems are totally corrupt. We do not have a representative form of government. The only people they represent are the people that give them the money. Period, paragraph. Again, I was there. I was the assistant to the Secretary of the New York State Senate. One of the chief writers for our magazine, the TrendsJournal, is Dr. Paul Craig Roberts, former Assistant Treasury Secretary under Reagan. We're guys that know what it looks like and have been there. By the way, I was also Chief Government Affairs Specialist for the chemical industry in D.C. from 74 to 79.
So you've had a bird's eye view of the inner workings of a lot of different things. Political,
at 28
economic.
years old, I was staying at the Willard and putting up my meetings at the Hay Adams. So I have pictures of me and Reagan, me and Connolly, me and this one, me and that one. Yeah, I know what it looks like. And when I'm saying, one of the stories I may have told you, when I saw John Connolly down in Texas in front of the book, we have a photo of me and him and his wife Nellie, may they both rest in peace, in front of the book depository, 1992. It was just before the elections, 2 weeks before, and he wanted to meet me. Anyway, it's their first time back since the assassination. And as we're going back into the Anatole Hotel, he said to me, Gerald, I read your book, Trend Tracking. He says, it's a fine piece of work, and I know your heart's in the right place. But you don't have a clue what's going on in America. And neither do the American people. Because if they did, there'd be a revolution in this country.
We're about out of time here. TrendsResearch.com is the website. And Occupy Peace, is that .us?
.us, only open to Americans.
All righty, and that's going to be May 2nd. Gerald, I'm sitting here, and I'm every fiber of my being is telling me that I need to be up there for this.
Well, please do, and everybody else. We could change history.
Well, we might have to do some live programming from up there, and I'm glad you didn't do this on Commie Day, May 1st.
No, we did it purposely not to do it that day.
All right, Gerald Celente, thank you so much. A half hour with you a month is never enough, but I certainly enjoy talking with you.
And I very much enjoy being on your show, and I ask everyone that's listening to please do everything they can to keep your show on the air and keep the truth alive.
We don't have an option, my friend.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye now. OccupyPeace.us. May 2nd. I think I need to be up there for this. I think we need to be covering this. And that means what? That means we'll be around in May. We are doing a pledge drive for the network, folks. It's almost all put back together. I'm loving it. When Gerald asked me how I'm doing, I'm actually feeling real good about this network, to the point where my entire life I'm starting to feel a little bit guilty. Does a man deserve this kind of happiness? At any rate, hour 2 coming up.
With fine. With fine. With fine. With fine. With fine. With fine.